Hello guys and welcome to my sports world. It's Monday morning, we're looking back at the weekend and I almost said it. What a disappointing weekend this was. The only team that put in a performance that I can be proud of was the Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, they lost by 3 points, I think it was, to the Lakers, which I'm totally okay because Lakers is a star-studded team. Memphis Grizzlies is a blue man colors team with no stars, just grit and grind. We have won 2 games, lost 1 in the first 3. We're doing great. However, Manchester United went on and walked on a landmine and it all blew up in their faces. Lost 5-0 to Manchester United, not to Liverpool. Then, not the worst, probably just as equally bad, was the 49ers lost to the Colts. And let me remind you what I said before the weekend. I made a video where I said, do not underestimate the Colts. They are better than people want them to be. People are saying they're not that good. People are saying they're bad. I said, don't sleep on them. They're on a trajectory upwards. Every time they play, they get better. And their defense is kind of good. And Carson Wentz has not been that bad this year. But no one wanted to listen. I warned you guys. I warned you. And you know what? Bring on the circus, because that's what it is. I'm just asking, how long do we have to deal with this circus? The circus called the 49ers. It's a circus full of clowns, okay? Kyle Shanahan is the biggest clown in the NFL, and he's the biggest joke of them all. He might as well stand on the sideline with a big pink curly wig and a big red nose and some big shoes and a clown outfit. I mean, he is the biggest clown of them all, and the 2 others is John Lynch and Ned York. It's almost like you have Huey, Dewey, and Louie running your team, or the 3 Stooges. This is such a bad thing. Nothing yesterday, except for the defense in periods. This is what goes back to what I said before. Our defense is up and down, up and down, up and down. The good stuff is really good. The bad stuff is really bad. And yesterday we saw more really bad than we saw really good. You want to blame the weather? I don't. Because the Colts played in the same weather. And the Colts kept us to quite a bit low points. And we couldn't keep them. They scored 30 points on us. And we couldn't even go over 20 on offense. It is so stupid. And I'm sitting after the game and I'm looking on YouTube. And I see the press conference, and Garoppolo is up there, and Shanahan is up there, and it's the same recycled garbage they're talking about every time. There's nothing in it. There's no hold to what they're saying. Oh, we have to be better at executing. Oh, we have to be better at executing. Oh, executing must be better. Executing? Are you kidding me? First of all, you have to learn how to play freaking calls and play games and call games and call plays. The calls that was called yesterday. What was that? And Kyle, your ego, you see yourself as one of the top coaches. What was that challenge flag thrown for? You wasted a timeout. That was like the dot over the I. That just tells the whole world that you don't know what you're doing. You're over your head. A 5-year-old can call plays as good as you do. A 10-year-old can draw up the same plays you did yesterday. This is what you spent 2 weeks on? Come on. You have seen earlier in the season that our running game is not functioning because you want to run up the middle. And yesterday, Colts had 8 men in the front lineup, and you wanted to run up the middle. Are you freaking kidding me? When you can use check as a battering ram, and you can run on the outside, where there's not many people, and they have 8 in the freaking middle to stop your run. They have seen tapes of you. This year, you want to run everything up the middle. In 2019, when we went to Super Bowl, what did we do? We did flipovers, turnovers, we run on the outside. And then once in a while we run up in the middle. Now, it's like 99% of the time up in the middle where there's no room. Teams know this, so they're stacking the box in front of you. And what do? I'm going to run up the middle. I'm going to get 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. No yards, no gain. 3 and out. And then, in poor weather condition, it's a downpour. The only thing you were missing was a freaking tornado. You decide to play 75-80% call of plays was froze. And you want to throw them downfield. You saw it didn't work. It didn't work for the Colts. It didn't work for us. But you and your ego will still want to go that way. You abandoned the run. I can see why, because you couldn't run up the middle. But if running up the middle is how limited you are, you should leave the game. There is no way around it. The Colts run up the middle on us. You know why? Because we had 5 men in the middle up front. Spread out. And they found rooms. Because 5 is a little bit less than 8. With 8 you have 3 men more to clutter up the freaking runway out there. You can see it time after time. Colts were running up the middle on us. They gained 10, 15, 20, 25 yards. And every now and then they would run on the outside. They looked like us in 2019. And we looked like puppets standing around. They could run into the end zone twice, untouched, uncontested. We had 2 players going like, oh shit, he ran in. And they were like a foot apart from each other. I think they even bumped each other. That's how close they are. What kind of defensive play calling is that? What is D'Amico Ryan doing? 2 touchdowns uncontested, easy as hell. They were not touched. This game was maybe the worst. I mean, the Packers game, we played a bit better in the Packers game, and that was not good. We played better against Arizona, and it was not good. This game, this was the worst one. Carson Wentz looked like Tom Brady out there against us. We looked like the Jets. But, I mean, what can you expect? Look at Kyle Shanahan's track record with the 49ers. What is it? Is it now 31 wins and 39 losses? So he's a losing coach. He's a loser. He is a loser. No, that way. He's a fucking loser. That's what he is. Not only is he a loser, he's a clown. He's a joke. His play calling is so terrible that, you know, you can only go back. Well, if you're an opponent coach and the coaching staff of an opponent team, like next week we're playing the Bears. You know, if the Bears coaching team sits down and look at the last 3 games that we have played, and they go, what are they doing on defense if we do this? What are they doing on defense if we do this? What are they doing on defense if we do this? They will see gaping holes everywhere, and they know that our cornerbacks are probably the worst in the league right now. And with Mosley out for an unknown period of time, it's going to be even worse, even though Mosley was not that great yesterday. The defense is giving away PIs and PIs left and right. I think yesterday we were over like, what was it, 97 yards in PIs? We are the second team in the league with the most pass interference on defense. After 5-6 games, that has to be cleaned up. That's something you grab by the root of the problem and you deal with it the next game. We're the second in the league when we're 6-7 weeks in. What are the coaches doing? What are they doing? They're doing absolutely freaking nothing. They're standing on the sideline, scratching their head, scratching their ass. That's what they're doing. I think someone should buy them a freaking clown outfit and put it on them. Because what we're running at the Levi Stadium right now is a circus. It is a circus. You overpay for a freaking circus. And You know what? I don't feel bad for these people who have bought, game passes for years to come. Because you took that camel right there and you swallowed it and you thought like, oh yeah, this is going to be great. When you pay for tickets 2 years in a row, 3 years down the line, you know what? I don't care. I'm so glad that I can watch these games online and on TV, that I don't have to pay money to see this shit. Last year, we thought last year was bad? Heck no. This year is even freaking worse. And we have most of our A-listers intact. Except for on cornerback. What did that tell you? That tells you we're worse this year than we were last year, when we had 10 guys, 11, 12 guys out with injuries. We were playing with our third and fourth string quarterback. And at least now we're playing with first and second string quarterbacks. We're having Bosa there. We have D Ford there. We have Ward, Tart. Everyone is there except for Greenlaw. And now Mosley. And we're at. So we had 3 guys out compared to 12 guys last year. And we're playing worse this year. What did that tell you? Robert Saleh did that defense last year even better than what DeMeco Ryan is doing this year. With an almost loaded team. That tells you how bad DeMeco Ryans is. You say, oh, the defense has shown glimpse. Yeah, with players like that, they better. If they hadn't, I would have started to be wondering really bad what's going on. But our defense is so inconsistent. We can have one good play, a second good play. We can force maybe a fumble recovery, a fumble and a fumble recovery. We can maybe force one interception. And then the next play, the next defensive call, there's a runway up the middle and their running back gets 25 yards. Boom. A deep pass and we get a PI. Oh shit, 47-yard PI call. That's good, right? No, it's not. And then you have 2 touchdowns that is being you could have just said, just go ahead, just go in and run. We'll just stand there and wait. That's what it looked like. This team is a freaking joke right now. I'm beyond freaking furious about this team. When you have players like this, I mean, let's start on the defense, if I can remember everyone. Bosa, Ford, Alshire, Warner, Tart, Ward, Norman, just to mention a few, Mosley. That is a way above average defense in the NFL. And we can't stop the Colts from scoring 30 points? Are you freaking kidding me? Yeah, that's a good defense for you. No, it's not. A good defense is what you see in New England, that are keeping teams to 3, 7, 10, 17 points at the most. But at most of the time, they're like 3, 7, 10 points. I'm not saying that the New England Patriots is a Super Bowl team or a great team, but their defense is good. Look at Tampa Bay. They have a solid defense. Look at Cardinals. They have a solid defense. But they're still not the same kind of players we have. They have less paid players than we do. And they shut out teams. They keep teams to low scoring. We can't keep any team to low scoring. The lowest we have kept the team was the Cardinals. And that was probably because we played our guts out because we didn't want to look bad. And maybe the Cardinals had a bad day. Rams has a good defense. Who do Rams have? McDonald and a couple other guys? Yeah. We have at least 6 elite guys on defense. 6 elite guys. And we can't perform better on defense than what we do here. Now, don't get me started on the offense, because the offense is even worse. The offense is... it's so misused. And, the players are being used the wrong way. Players are being overlooked. Players are being treated like dirt. Just because Kyle Shanahan has an ego. And someone hurt his feelings. But you know what? Someone should really hurt his feeling and fire that clown. He's a clown. He's a joke. I can play. I can call plays better than him. I can draw plays better than him. Big words, you might say. Yeah. Doesn't take much. It doesn't take much. Now let me shift the focus a little bit here on the last couple of minutes I'm going to spend on this video. More videos are coming because I'm going to try and break it down a little bit too. I said we have the Three Stooges running this club. We have, the Donald Duck's three sons, Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch, and Ed York. And Parag, he's in there too. We have three clowns, Three Stooges, three incompetent people running our club. You might want to ask yourself, why haven't we succeeded under Ed York and the ownership we have now? We were very successful under Eddie Bartolo, whatever his name is. Eddie. We were very successful under the years with Eddie. When after he gave away the team or sold the team or whatever he did to his sister or whatever it is, and his nephew now is Ed York is running whatever, if I have the family tree correctly. After they took over the team, what have happened to the team? Mostly it has gone down and down year after year. We have had 2 spikes upwards. Both ended in going to a Super Bowl with Jim Harbaugh in 2012. We lost to the Ravens. We shouldn't have lost. We shouldn't have lost that game. But we did. God knows why. And then, 2019. A game we absolutely threw away. We had it in the palm of our hands. And with the last fourth quarter, last 10 minutes, last 8 minutes of the fourth, last 7 minutes. I think it was last 6:46. 6 minutes and 46 seconds of the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl in 2019. Kyle Shanahan lost us the title. So in 20 years, we've been to the Super Bowl twice. How many times have the New England Patriots been there since 2000? 2003? Something like that? A boatload of times. And how many Super Bowls have they won? A boatload of them. How many times have the Buccaneers been to the Super Bowl and won? 2, I think. How about the Saints? How about the Packers? How about all the other teams? We are in the same category, in the same class as the Jets, the Browns, the Bengals, the Dolphins. We are a worthless team. We're being run by clowns and run by idiots. And I'm sorry, but this is not going to change anytime soon this season. And if they don't do anything, if Louie, which is Ed York, out of the Donald Duck sons, get a little light bulb moment and fire Shanahan this year, it can't be any worse. It can't really be any worse. If you fire him mid-season or after the season, it can't be any worse. But if you do, you gotta let D'Amico Ryan go because he's no good. He's no good. There needs to be a total change out. The QB coach has to go. All the position coaches has to be evaluated. Nothing is correct in this club and this team and this organization. So you have to let Shanahan and D'Amico Ryans go, and even mid-season. And then after the season, all position coaches has to be evaluated. After the season, John Lynch needs to be fired. He is a puppet. And then We have to start looking at a total rebuild. But newsflash for you, Jed York. A rebuild of this team is not going to come cheap. You know why? Because you approved to give away to pawn shop the club for the next 3 years. You have no first round picks. I think you barely have a few seconds and maybe a few thirds in the next 3 years. So guess what? All the star players that you have now has to be traded away for picks. Because you need a boatload of picks to replace the nursing home players that you have on your roster. Because we have a boatload and a shitload of aged players that is ready to retire. They should have been retired. So we have a huge problem on many fronts. This team has been really organized in a bad way and misrun in a bad way. It's been set up in a terrible way. It's set up to fail the next 3 years. If you look at it and if you try your best to recoup some value, you might be looking at 6 to 7, 8 years before we have a team where we might be able to compete. And that is if we do all the changes right now. Right now. You can't wait. It has to happen now. Garoppolo has to be cut or traded or whatever, but with his performances this year, I don't know how many people want him on a $27 million contract. And that was $27 million. So you probably have to cut him, and he has to contact a different club and restructure his whole pay schedule. Because he's not worth $27 million. He's maybe a $10 million quarterback at the best. At the best. So you see, you have to cut players. And all these nursing home, shelter players that you have brought in this year, all the Band-Aids that you have brought in this year, landfill. They have to be cut. Then no one wants them. That's why we are stuck with them. So we have to start all over. That means we are in need of 20 players. 20 players! Which means we have to spend 3 years in the draft. 3 years! And we have to draft at least 5 players. And all 5 each year has to be a success. There's no room for error. You know what that means? That means you have to trade Kittle, Armstead, Warner, and Bosa. I'm sorry to tell you, but those 4 has to be traded away for draft picks so we can build this team up again. Because this team is so poorly built, so poorly run. It's run by amateurs. It's run by people without any skill or knowledge whatsoever. Yes, John Lynch is a likable dude, but you know what? He doesn't have a bone in his body. He's like a jelly lump. Oh yeah, wiggle, wiggle. Oh yeah, we'll do that. Oh yeah, we'll do that. This organization is so terribly run, and it starts on the top and it trickle downs. Parag, you think he's a good guy on cap space math? The rest of the league does the same job to stay under the cap, and they're having better results than us. John Lynch, I'm sorry, he's a jello. Kyle Shanahan, the biggest cloning coaching in the NFL. And Jed York, the chief clown. So, the only one thing to do is to shut down this circus and build a new empire. But you know what? I fear that it's not going to happen. Because people are not bright enough. Take care, guys.